Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to our lecturers and fellow friends. Today, we will present about our group assignment which is Communication Network Design. So, I'm Sabha binti Muhammad Rafi, 63762 will explain about introduction. Do you guys know what is network design? Network design is very crucial for an independent branch office. Network design is the planning phase that must go through before we implement the communication network in office. The element of the network must be evaluated and understood carefully to make sure the network can be run efficiently. To maintain a consistent application response time, this network must also be able to adjust to changing traffic load. Therefore, a very careful planning and design are required hence to achieve the desired goals. There are two approaches the designer must adapt in planning and design network, which are the top-down approach and the bottom-up approach. Let's move to the comparison of the top-down approach and bottom-up approach. For the top-down approach, the design task to focus more on the design scope and perform in a more controlled manner. Besides, top-down approach also help designer view the network design solution from a business approach. Then, for the bottom-up approach, network selection technologies and focus on the design of the model first. However, the downside is having a high potential for design failure because the network will not meet the requirement. Here are the network requirement and design constraints. There are a few requirements for the network such as cost efficiency, elasticity, compliance, business continuity, and access control. For the design constraint, it requires of course, bandwidth, topology, building specification, socio-economic and environment effect. So here are the proposed design for our office building. In the proposed design, all desktop computer and one of the router's fast Ethernet ports were connected to the 16-port switch. The Ethernet part of the wireless router was connected to the access point. For the physical cabling, the cable will pass through the ceiling. We move to the bandwidth for the networking design. Bandwidth determines how much data can move through a network connection. Greater bandwidth transmits more data over a fixed period of time. If a network needs to be able to handle frequent customer download, for instance, the network needs to have enough bandwidth to handle the transfer of the data in terms of bits, not bytes. For example, to transfer a 50 megabyte file in 1 second, the network needs a bandwidth capacity of 400 Mbps because there are 400 megabits in 50 megabyte. In order to transmit higher bandwidth over longer distance, fiber optics are the best choice. Bandwidth per user for each application was tabulated in table below. Different applications show different bandwidth, and the highest bandwidth required is using peer-to-peer file sharing application which requires 0 to infinite Mbps.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurshami bin Aziha and I will continue with the presentation. Another constraint that need to be considered in the network design is cost. It is the common limiting factors when producing any design. Many aspects need to be considered in order to produce a quality design but with a low cost operation. For example, types of cable used such as fiber optic cable, design topology, infrastructure equipment, scalable network, and etc. Optic fiber can be made cheap but provide higher bandwidth and faster speed. Hierarchical design comes with a moderate cost compared to others. Next is the topology. There are 5 topologies in computer network which are mesh, star, bus, ring, and hybrid. Other topology can be considered especially in design network are hierarchical, leaf and spine, hub and spoke. Hierarchy can offer a high scale up and significantly simplify the design with its flexibility in introducing a more sufficient places to isolate fault domain. This structure provides the ability to control and minimize failure propagation over the course and within different layers. It also provides a high flexibility and a high redundancy. For the computer, the tree topology will be used. It is a combination of bus and star topology. All the nodes are directly or indirectly connected to the main bus cable. The whole network is divided into segments that easily managed and maintained. The function for the advantage for the tree topology for the computer is that the fault finding is easy by checking each hierarchy. The large distance network coverage. Other hierarchical networks are not affected if one of them fails. A large number of nodes can be connected directly or indirectly, and least or no data loss. Next, for the base Ethernet, we use the star topology. Use the Ethernet standard that transmits at 10 megabit per second over twisted wire pairs. It is easy to troubleshoot. Other than that, it is very easy to set up. It relies on hubs, and each computer has a dedicated cable that connects Ethernet card to a port on the hub and may be able to connect all the computers in the computer network directly to the hub without putting new wiring in the walls. For the LAN, and next we use the LAN network. It is a local area network where it's a computer network that interconnect computers within a limited area. The function is for the resources sharing, easy and cheap communication, software application sharing, and centralized data. Apart from that, building specification is also to be considered. What the building specification? First is the network type. Options include the Ethernet, ATM or token ring. Most small networks are based on Ethernet. Second is the physical network includes network cabling, baseplats, and other issues of basic infrastructure. The type of cabling installed depends on the network type selected. Next, network communication equipment. To operate the network, Ethernet hubs and routers are needed. Network operating system. Currently, Microsoft Windows NT Server and Novel Network dominate this area. Some environments may require Unix-based servers. It is also possible to design a peer-to-peer network based on NT workstation. Next is the network server hardware, data backup hardware and software, and also the client workstation, which is considered the hardware such as PC, Mac, and operating systems such as Windows or Mac OS, and etc. For the chosen building specification, it is use Internet rather than token ring or ATM unless there is some unusual prevailing circumstance. Do not use coaxial Ethernet of either the thick or thin wire variety. Support for network management generally is not required for small networks. Use the 100 base T if performance is the highest priority, and use 10 base T if economy is the highest priority. Use switch Ethernet to segment the network or deliver faster performance to the desktop. And lastly, the Gigabyte Ethernet should not yet be considered an option for the small office network.
Hi, I'm Azrin. So this is the socio-economic and environmental impacts of communicating network. Although the communicating network can bring more benefit, but the cost of installation and services may be higher, depends on the design. The second one is it will affect the office environment and space. The third one it can create large amounts of waste. So this is the general network organization with its peer-to-peer. So in peer-to-peer, it can the computer can act as a client and also server. So using this operating system, we can easily construct a peer-to-peer network where computers can function as both desktop and also can offer resources shared on the network. So laser printer connected to desktop computer can be defined as a network resources shared by the entire work group. So next is peer-to-peer network can be economical since they eliminate the need for high performance dedicated server. So next is peer-to-peer network are relatively easy to set up and on a small scale use. Lastly is peer-to-peer model act with a dedicated server as the network span is chosen as network organization. So moving on to the network operating system. In this office, we use Microsoft Windows NT Server. First, network operating system is a software that runs on server and can be defined how resources are shared on the network. So it can provide basic operating environment for the server so that it can store data in a secure way, reliable, and to satisfy requests from user. So why we're choosing Microsoft NT is because it offers files and print services and excel as the network application server. So Windows NT uses a set of higher level network protocol called SMB that operates either NetBIOS or TCP/IP lower level protocol. Windows NT can be easily configured to operate in pure TCP/IP environment. Next is Windows NT is easy to set up and administer. So lastly, all the tools for managing an NT server are easy to use graphical application. Next is the network server hardware features. This is the features. The first one is the ability to automatically schedule full and incremental backup, reports all backup activities and notification of fail or incomplete tasks. Third is verification of archive data, compression of archive data, to support for all file types. Next is the ability to archive files that are in active use. Next is tracking of all archive files. Next is the ability to selectivity restore file. Next is the ability to backup files on multiple server and multiple kinds of server. Lastly is the ability to backup files on client workstation. So next is the advantages. These are a few advantages of this design. The first one is cost efficiency, where it contains multiple systems, bus line, and can be run on a single network. The second one is it has a greater flexibility. The third one is it easy working, where this design of the network can smooth the employee tasks. So next is the disadvantages of the system. The first one is it can cause an interference from physical materials such as steel, wood, concrete, absorbs or reflects some of signal. It can also reduce signal to the point. The second one is too many wireless access points. The third one is the interference from electromagnetic source such as radio source, fluorescent light, and electrical equipment, and cabling can interfere with wireless. So as a conclusion, with the help of communication network, it become easier for us to communicate, and also it can increase productivity and efficiency in the office. And lastly, we can share all the data over the network. So that's all from us. Thank you.